Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is January 11th, 2023. Today we have a special guest. Most of you might know him, some of you might not. His name is RFG Chosen One. He's been putting out videos on YouTube for a lot of years, and people have been asking me to get him on the show, so I actually have him on the phone. He's going to tell you guys who he is, where he's from, what made him start doing this, and then we're gonna talk about some current events. I know a lot of you want to talk about, the rig sports and all that stuff. So let's just get started with the show, and hopefully you guys enjoy. If you guys have any questions you want to ask RFG, just type it in the chat, and I'll definitely ask them. And let's just get started. So what's going on, my brother?
Oh, what's good? What's good, man? It's an honor, man, to be featured on your show here. But to answer your question, I was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. My mom, she was just like a regular worker, a regular maid in a Las Vegas hotel. My father worked in a facility that was on the outside of Area 51 for a little bit over 20 years. So as a child, I would hear, you can't trust the government on both sides of my family. Because my mom's side of the family, they were heavily involved in the Black Power movement in the late 60s, early 70s. So I was learning an opposite doctrine when I was going to public schools. So I would put my parents' teachings in the back of my head while I was at school. But after I graduated in 2010, I learned that 9/11 was an inside job. So, my family, they were trying to push me into the military. So I wanted to do my own thing. So at that point, I was literally on my own. I had to do my own research. I had to do my own soul searching, and I had to go through my own trials and tribulations. When 2012 came, that's when, I hit rock bottom, and I had no choice but to commit my life to finding truth, to finding the truth to religion, the truth to the history that they don't want us to know, the truth about etymology, the truth about extraterrestrial life. You see what I'm saying? The truth about false flags. The esoteric symbolism, numerology, astrology, the whole nine. So between 2012 and 2015, I learned more about the world than most people get to learn in a lifetime. So I made the decision to make my YouTube channel January 3rd of 2014. I was able to call multiple professional sports championships. I was able to relay ancient history that we weren't taught in schools. The history of genetic splicing, etymology. I was able to decode many movies, TV shows, cartoons, and video games and show how those messages relate to the real reality that we really live in. And when my channel was at 97,000 subscribers in 2021, my channel was terminated by YouTube June 25th of 2021. So now I'm only on Patreon and, Instagram and UHive. I'm currently in the process of getting RFGmovement.com up and running. So you guys can see all the videos that YouTube deleted. You'll be able to see them for free on the website.
Okay, let me ask you something. What was the first video that you made that made you a viral sensation on YouTube?
I would definitely have to say it was the Super Bowl 50 Decoded that I put out December 7th of 2015. And after that happened, after the Broncos beat the Panthers in that Super Bowl, I went from, I want to say like a measly 7,000 subs all the way to like over 20,000 in just like maybe a week span.
Now, what did you do to make that prediction? Did you use any gematria, any astrology, any numerology? What made you pick the winner of that Super Bowl correctly?
Esoteric symbolism, esoteric symbolism, and I use something that's called Vedic numerology. So that's it's. I mean, it's a number code, but it's like it's more basic than gematria.
Okay. Okay. So what did you see exactly that made the? So I'm guessing you had the Broncos over the Panthers, yes?
Yeah.
And just walk us through it because I'm not familiar with any of that stuff. If you notice my channel, I focus on gematria or something that I learned from Zachary Hubbard back in 2017, I think it was, or 2016. Are you familiar with Zachary Hubbard?
Yes, I am. I was hit his information. Somebody sent me videos of his, and I want to say late. It was late 2015, at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016.
Yeah, so I've been decoding sports and calling championships as well, but I think when I watch your work, you don't really focus that much on numerology and gematria, even though you do talk about it a little bit. But I think that your method is like way different. You want to just explain to the people how you go about it and why you feel like those techniques are relevant.
Well. There's things that. There's certain basic things you have to be aware of when it comes to sports decoding. Every sports year, the NFL owners and the sports league owners, they come together and create their own specific special number codes for each sports year. So, like for instance, we all know that their favorite number codes, as far as Freemasonic numbers, would be 13, 33. Your 666s, 42s, things of that nature. Also 23s. Now, this particular sports year, or the sports year of 2016, that in itself was all about Peyton Manning fulfilling the legacy of a John Elway. All right. John Elway retired with 2 rings, all right? Peyton Manning retired with his 2nd ring. Eli Manning, you see, retired with 2 rings. Ben Roethlisberger retired with 2 rings, all right? Now, 3 of those 4 quarterbacks are also Jewish. They're also, Zionists. So when you look at it in a nutshell, John Elway and Peyton Manning are directly linked. All right. They started out with the Indianapolis Colts. They ended their careers with the Denver Broncos. They were the first 2 NFL quarterbacks to lose to black QBs in a Super Bowl. All right. Now, in order to lose to a black QB in the Super Bowl, you have to have a horse, Bronco, Colt connection. You have to have something has to connect you to a horse, for you to lose to a black quarterback in the Super Bowl. All right. Now, we know Peyton Manning lost to Russell Wilson in Super Bowl 48. John Elway lost to Doug Williams in Super Bowl 22. And Jimmy Garoppolo lost to Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowl 54. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo, his high school mascot was a Mustang, all right? And he had a head coach who had a father that was the head coach of the Broncos. You see, so they kind of snuck that in with Super Bowl 54. But like I said, as a white quarterback, you cannot lose to a black quarterback in the Super Bowl unless you have that Colt, Mustang, Bronco, horse connection. And as a black QB, you cannot win a Super Bowl unless you have a Wildcat connection and unless you're wearing an odd number. All right. Russell Wilson, his high school mascot was a Wildcat. Patrick Mahomes, his high school mascot was a Wildcat. Doug Williams, he went to Grambling College. They're called the Grambling Tigers. All right. And they were all wearing odd numbers when they won their Super Bowls as black QBs. So this information, I was hip to this information. I want to say back in between 2016, 2016 and 2017. And that's when the Las Vegas Review-Journal wrote that article about me when I predicted Colts Vikings for Super Bowl 51.
Who wrote that article about you? Vice?
The Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Okay, what did they say?
They basically called me an amateur astrologer that predicted Colts Vikings in the Super Bowl for 51, and they tried to convince people that sports isn't rigged. And I find it very interesting that a multi-billion-dollar corporation has to convince millions of people that a Joe Schmo is wrong about sports being rigged. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like that in itself is a huge red flag. And then secondly, when we go back to that 2016 season with the Colts and the Vikings, both of their seasons ended on the same day of December 24th, 2016. And both, I think the Colts were held to 25 points. And I believe the Vikings were also held to 25 points when their seasons were finished, and they were eliminated from playoff contention on Christmas Eve in 2016. Of course, they scored the 25 that was the elite's way of saying they're not going to be in the Super Bowl on 2/5, because Super Bowl 51 was on 2/5. And of course, on that day, their backup script is Tom Brady coming back from a 25-point deficit on 2/5 and getting the AFC their 25th Super Bowl win.
Yeah, and the Pope was there. I mean, you don't do the Jumanji, but I think Falcons equals 25, and there was a lot of other 25s in there. I remember that one. That was one of my first Super Bowls that I called. But
yeah. Oh yeah. See, Super Bowl 50 was all about the sheriff. It was about the sheriff versus the Panther. The sheriff rounding up the Black Panther. The number 12. All right. So the Roman numeral, the Roman 50 is L. L is the 12th letter. North Carolina is the 12th state. And you also had the connection between Steph Curry and the Carolina Panthers, right? Because right after before and after the Panthers win, you have Steph Curry in the finals. And he's from that same particular state. It's called the Golden Super Bowl. All right. So at the time, the biggest quarterback that was getting ready to retire, he's the NFL's golden quarterback. Manning. So they had to send him out with his last ring, so he could tie his brother John Elway and Roethlisberger with his second ring.
So just real quick, going back to Super Bowl 51, just to remind people at home about all the 25. So the game was on February 5th. That's date written 2/5. Mm-hmm. That was also the conclusion of the 97th NFL season. Yep. And 97 is the 25th prime number.
Wow.
And the Patriots had a 25-point comeback. Brady became 5-2 in the championship game. The reflection of 25. The Patriots won the 25th Super Bowl for the AFC, like you said. And, of course, Falcons, Pope, Trump. And the person who caught the winning touchdown was James White, and the name White equals 25 as well. So that was a big tribute to Trump and the Pope.
Yep.
Yeah. So let me ask you something, because one of the first videos that I saw about you was going back and forth. It was a video going you and Zachary Hubbard beefing with each other back in the days. Can you tell people about that real quick? Did you guys have any issues, or was it just propaganda?
Well, we definitely had an issue, but the thing is, I never heard of Zach Hubbard until like the end of 2015, or like the start of 2016, when somebody DM'd me a video of him like going in on me, and I'm like, who in the hell is this person?
It was already on YouTube before that, right?
Right, like I literally, like, I never mentioned Zach's name before March of 2016. The first time like I'd heard of him was January of 2016, but then there was a video that Zach made against me, trying to diss me March of 2016. And before that, I never mentioned the guy's name in any of my videos. So
what was he mentioning? What was he talking about in that video?
He was specifically telling people to stay away from my channel.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
For what reason? What was the reason?
I think he said that I was like a black supremacist, and he tried to say that I was stealing his work and a whole bunch of shit, like just false accusations, man. False accusations, like I can't remember specifically what was said, but I know that the main messages of the video was just to tell people to stay away from my channel, that I was supposedly taking information from him, and that I was a black supremacist. And
are you a black supremacist?
No, the word black means lacking and dead and lifeless and lawless, somebody with no rights. And a black also means pale. Mm-hmm. So there's no such thing as a black supremacist. I see myself as like a cosmic being, having a physical experience. So basically,
you said you became a YouTuber back in 2012. You said.
Well, I started the channel in 2012. I didn't make my first video until January 3rd, 2014.
So then 3 years go by. You're putting out the knowledge on YouTube, and then he makes a video out of nowhere. You never heard of the guy before. He starts attacking you, huh?
Well, this was like early March of 2016, and I'm thinking to myself like, "Yo, who the hell? Like, who is this guy?"
Did you have any success calling championships prior to that?
Well, bro, I'll put the nail in the coffin right now. April 29th, 2016, I said that the Cleveland Cavaliers would knock off the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals, and I said that King James would be crowned King James on the biblical King James's birthday of June 19th. The video.
So wait. You predicted that first,
bro. April 29th, 2016. I have a person in New York who can verify that Zach Hubbard never called that before me.
Okay.
The guy's name is Leon.
Wow, this is news because he's been telling my community that he was the one that called that.
No. See, ask him to show a post or a video of himself speaking about that before April 29th, 2016. I guarantee you he won't be able to produce it.
Now, let's put him to the side. So what made you, man? That has to be one of the greatest predictions of all time, because not only was the Warriors the big favorites, they was up 3-1 against the Cavaliers. So did you make this prediction before the series began? Like, at what point did you make this prediction?
Well, I saw the fact that LeBron James was 31. It was his 13th season, and they were down 3-1. And I started to see a lot of 3-1s, and then I saw the season before the Warriors beat the Cavaliers. So that season of 2016, I was like, well, all of the money is being wagered on the Warriors because they beat them last year. They're up 3-1. But I was like, damn, it's LeBron James's 13th season. He's 31 years old. And I'm seeing all these damn 3-1s. And I'm thinking about the sports book factor. I'm like, damn, are they really going to cash out all of these damn wagers that people have been placing on the Warriors all season because they were the defending champs, and then they just had the best regular season in NBA history? I'm like, all of the fucking money is on the goddamn Warriors to close the deal. I'm like, wait a second. Game 7 is on June 19th. That's the biblical King James's birthday. I'm like, yo, I'm like, wait a second, man. I'm like, if the Las Vegas sports books want to cash out, they're gonna have the damn they're gonna have the damn Cavaliers pull the comeback.
Through the roof.
Yep.
Because I think that was the first time ever that a team came back 3-1.
Yeah, I think.
I think that was the only time
in playoff history. Yep.
That's probably the only time ever.
Well, that's for the NBA. Yeah, that was the only time for the NBA.
Yeah, I think it's been done in baseball. In baseball,
I think that was the only time for the NBA Finals because in the conference final, Western Conference Finals that year, the Warriors came back 3-1 down with OKC.
Yeah, but not in the championship game is what I mean.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so moving on. So, can you tell us any other predictions that you made, like some sports predictions that you remember?
2017, I predicted the Houston Astros would win the World Series after Hurricane Harvey. So that was awful.
Hold on. Because man, this is the thing. So the other day, the guy man, I've been fooled because I thought that was your prediction, or because Zachary Hubbard said that he was the one that predicted that because of the hurricane that he had the Astros over the Dodgers.
I mean, if he can show a video on the exact date of August 30th that the Houston Astros, we're gonna do it. If he can show that a video, some kind of post before August 30th that he made it, then maybe he's right. I have video evidence that shows that I posted a video on August 30th, the day of Hurricane Harvey, saying that the Houston Astros were going to win it all.
Wow, I don't even know what to say. I actually, man, this is crazy. I mean, because it's the thing. He has this reputation of, because I've accused him of the same thing, and he's denied it. Because I remember when the Nationals won the championship, I put out a video saying that the Nationals was going to win 105 games because National equals 105. And he tells his people that that's not even the case. So this guy has a history of taking other people's work and making it his. But I don't really want to talk too much about him. But that is crazy because now we know who was really behind the King James Riddle and the Astros winning, beating the Dodgers after Hurricane Harvey.
Yeah.
So thank you for clarifying that. Now let's move on to some current events. What do you think about this whole Damar Hamlin, who supposedly just got released from the hospital today?
At first, I thought his injury was genuine. I thought it was legit, and I thought it was simply reaction from the vax, or the jab, but. Now I see that when I look at the numbers, all right, he's number 3. He had two family members visit him in the hospital, both wearing number 3 jerseys. All right, and he took a picture with no IVs hooked up. There was no EKG machine that he was hooked up to. And then
just not to interrupt you, but he also didn't have. You know how when you get admitted to the hospital, they put a wristband on you. He didn't have no wristband.
Wow! That's insane, man. And there were also people saying that the ambulance that took him off the field didn't have a driver's. It
had no lettering on it. Nothing. It looked like a painted U-Haul truck.
Yep. It had no on it, and then it had no license plates.
Well, I did see a plate. It started with the number 57. And of course, this is the year of Super Bowl 57.
Well, that's hoax. I mean, that has hoax written all over it, man. Fake license plates, no markings on the painting, and the nail in the knee was the fact that he was checked into the hospital on January 2nd, and he was released today, January 11th. So he was in the hospital for 9 days, and he was released on the 11th. He was admitted in the hospital, and he was held there for 9 days, and he was released on the 11th. 9/11 coding.
Nice. Yeah, everything. I mean, just think about it. This okay. So what I've covered about with his whole fake injury is they was comparing him to Chuck Hughes, who supposedly died on the field 51 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
the name Chuck Hughes and gematria equals 51, like Cincinnati, like conspiracy, and then on 5/1 on January 5th, that's when he was supposed to be woke up from his cardiac arrest, from his coma.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then it's just they've been coding the number 117 all over this ritual as well. But what I want to show people is like, because sometimes even though you show people the numbers and the synchronicities, it's like there's certain things that are just so obvious. Like you said, like the ambulance didn't have any markings. The guy's not hooked up to any machinery at the hospital. He's not even wearing a gown.
Wow, I noticed that, man. See, they're getting more blatant with their rigging
Mockery.
and with the ritual. Yep. They're mocking the NPCs. They're mocking the NPCs.
Yeah, because that's what I said in my video. I said, how is it that people don't notice, like the employees at these hospitals don't notice that ambulance that pulled up to the field is not a real ambulance? I mean, somebody who works as a paramedic will recognize, like, wait a minute, that doesn't look like one of our ambulances. And somebody that works at these hospitals, how can they see that photograph that's super viral? How can they see that photograph and say, wait, this setup doesn't look like a person that's in critical condition?
Yep. It's wild, man. How indoctrinated people are, man, and how addicted they are to the aspect of the ordeal, but they don't understand that this whole this whole system, especially when you deal with sports, is all about gladiatorial games, and distracting the masses from all of the corruption, right, that's going on with their particular government. They've been using sports appease the masses, manipulate the emotions of the masses for centuries.
Yep. Now, team.
I had a backup channel for a little over a year, but they terminated it at summer of 2020 because I was speaking out against the pandemic. And
Yeah, that's the number one red flag right now on YouTube. They don't want you talking about that at all.
oh yeah, and then the very next year, 2021, June 25th, they terminated my main channel, and I think they were shaving my subscribers too, but I was very close to 100,000 subs before they terminated it.
Wow. Yeah, because I wanted to ask you, because there's been a lot of like there's a lot of people who make videos online that get on my nerves, but I don't like to like act like I know it all. So I give people the benefit of the doubt. But people who make videos, and listen, if you believe these things, there's no knock on you. I don't think that I know it all at all. It just there's certain things that just don't make any sense to me. But I want to get your point of view on all this. Like these theories about cloning and reptilians and stuff like that. Like what are your thoughts on cloning?
Cloning? I think they the people in power. They've had the technology to clone maybe since the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s, and this is going to shock a lot of people listening, but we have to come to the realization that humans are not controlling our government. All right. For instance, the United States government, along with other world governments, wagons with horses, to shooting rockets into the atmosphere and creating free energy technology devices. So we went from pulling wagons with horses to shooting rockets out of the damn atmosphere and harnessing satellite technology. How did that happen?
You
You know,
actually
we
know that's a good point because when I think about the internet, it doesn't really make sense. Like I don't think somebody, a human being, can think about invent something like that. It seems like out of this world. The
I mean,
technology.
I mean, like you look at Nikola Tesla. All Nikola Tesla really did was decipher. He had certain native people decipher the Rosetta Stone. You see what I'm saying? He was able to create free energy from that particular information. Um, when you look at that, and you see what the government did to Nikola Tesla, they took him out and they took the rights to his over his technology. Now they're the ones making billions off of his name. That's why me personally, I'll from the Tesla Corporation. You know, they have us in a society where everybody's divided with either their national lines, which are imaginary, their religious, which is the worship of the uh, your college or sports team, another form of division. Race, that another form of division. There are entities in this world that literally get power off of human negative emotion and division. All right. Low human frequency and human division. That's how they get their power. And the lower we humans go in frequency, the harder it's going to get for us to fully detach from this matrix.
So, what do you think is gonna take to wake up the masses? Because obviously they got us censored on YouTube and all these other social media platforms. And even when we show people undeniable evidence, even when we make unbelievable predictions, even when we show people how it doesn't make sense for this guy to be admitted to a hospital when none of this stuff seems like protocol. Like I don't understand what is it gonna take to wake up the masses because I feel like time is just going by and nothing seems to be changing.
Well, it's funny you say that because when I first started out on the on the information journey, man, I really thought that I was going to be able to help most people in the world, and over the first few years, I realized I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, man, it seems like most people are just gone, mentally, spiritually gone. And for the past few years, I've come to realize that certain people actually incarnated into this matrix to defend this matrix. So that we have certain beings that incarnated into this matrix specifically support this matrix.
You're right
And
about that.
I hate to say it, but that's most people. That's
Yeah, and what I've noticed is a lot of these athletes are born into their role, like the LeBron James of the world, the Kobe Bryants of the world. So I'm thinking, like, if somebody's born into this, how can you convince that person that this is not the right thing to do when they're literally being bred for this position and role?
oh yeah, oh Joe. Come on. You're talking about LeBron James, the guy who was asked to pose with a crown, a biblical crown on his head after he got drafted, holding up the number 4. Hello, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna retire with 4 rings. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be looked at like he's gonna be worshipped like the biblical King James. You see, it's a joke.
It is a joke. It is a joke. So I want to ask some of the people have a lot of questions for you. You want to answer some of the people's questions from the chat?
Oh, most
All right. So let's see. Let's just go down the line and um. So if you guys at home have any questions for RFG, just ask in the chat and I'll definitely ask them. So I did see somebody ask something about I think it was a sports related question. Oh, people want to know who you have for the Super Bowl this year.
Oh man, that's another thing I forgot to say, man. I attracted so much attention off of the Super Bowls that I did call that. Not only did the Las Vegas Review Journal write that article, I believe that the sports book directors they literally hired spies to look at YouTube channels who do sports decoding. So the agents they take that information back to the sports book directors, and if enough people are placing wagers on that particular outcome, the sports book directors they notify the teams, and the teams end up changing their initial script. So they do that to make sports decoders look crazy. Now it's like I swear to God, it's a counter sports decoding intelligence agency, and the sports book directors are the ones that started that because of what happened in 2016. This year, all I'm gonna say is expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. Something that hasn't happened in almost 3 decades is about to happen again. And it's going to send a lot of people, a lot of sports fans in a frenzy. But when it gets to the Super Bowl, the team that has the bigger fan base, their energy is going to get harvested real bad. That's the most detail I can go into, because I also have agents, on my platform that are trying to get my picks so they can leak them.
Got you. All right. Somebody says that you used to work at the Harvest Festival, right when the Vegas shooting happened. You want to elaborate on that?
I was working for CSC, security company that does security for the Las Vegas Strip. So like the MGM, the Mandalay Bay, the Luxor, all over the Strip. But we would do public events like security for that in Vegas, California, Utah, and Arizona, like in the same area. But I was on the east side of the stage during the 91 Harvest shooting.
Okay. What do you remember about that event?
I remember it was late at night. There were firecrackers, noises that sounded like firecrackers in the crowd, and then the managers from CSC went out to the crowd to check and see where the was coming from. But they couldn't find anybody. So I thought that was really weird. And the noises started to get louder and louder, like these firecracker type noises. And to where we were like, wait a second, those ain't no firecrackers. Those are like shots. And I look up to my left and I see like women with like sandals and heels jumping off of like a 5 to 6 foot stage on blacktop, and I'm like, what the fuck? So as the shots get louder, I'm like, wow, this is like really happening. Like I was in a state of disbelief. So I look to my right and I see people actually getting shot like outside of the gate of the event. So that was the south side of the event. I was positioned right near the east of the 91 Harvest Festival. So I went out of the east exit, started to notice that people were hiding behind police cars. And I had to stop and think, like, do I want to do that or, go out trying to get away? And I said, you know what? Shots get closer and closer. Fuck that. I'm going to take my chance, with doing what I can to get the fuck away. So I hear the shots get closer and closer, and I have to jog. I have to jog really fast to get down. I have to stay in a somewhat crouched position So, you know, but I was going full speed from the south part of the of the shooting, the area where the shooting happened. It's east of the Luxor, directly east of the Luxor. So I was running north. I ran north to Hooters, the Hooters, past the Hooters Hotel, past the Tropicana, and I was running so fast I ran across Tropicana Street, and that's where I hit the MGM. But they were gonna tear the whole intersection off of Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard. So I was like, "Fuck it!" I started running up these small avenues, small side streets. One of them was called Sammy Davis Jr. Avenue, and I was going up all those tiny small streets until I got to the Trump Hotel, which is about 7 miles away from where the shooting first started, and that's where my ex girlfriend picked me up in her car and took me home. But as I was walking, and when I got into her car, I saw fucking tanks going down south on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Well, yeah, because that was a huge Jesuit ritual. A lot of people claim
Oh
that
yeah.
nobody was really hurt that day, but you're a person that was actually there. So, did you see anybody
Well,
get hurt?
well, there's certain like false flags where people actually get. There's certain false flags where nobody gets hurt.
Yeah. So somebody, another person is asking about saying that Broach Sanchez was your friend, and they're saying that he was a Masonic agent. Is that true?
I was close to Bro Sanchez from 2012 to early 2016, and he was in the military. As far as I remember, I think a member of the Air Force. I'm not sure, how he was discharged or whatever. All I can say is that we were able to learn a lot from each other. The time that and what ended our friendship was he wanted me to put out more videos speaking about flat Earth. And at that time, I had did my own research, and it led me not to believe in the flat Earth theory anymore. And because I was putting out flat Earth information for maybe about in between 2 and 3 months with him, but I started to conduct my own thorough independent research, and this was December of 2015 and January of 2016, and I was like, wait a second, nah. I'm like, nah. This information is saying that the Earth is not flat and motionless, and it got to a point to where he basically didn't want to link up with me anymore. He didn't want to do videos because I didn't want to promote the flat Earth anymore. So, and that was February of 2016.
So yeah, because people keep asking what you think about flat Earth. So you don't think the Earth is flat?
Well, can you repeat that?
Because people are asking me in the chat to ask you about flat Earth. So, basically, what you're telling me is that you don't believe that the Earth is flat.
No, I do not.
Okay. Let's see. Somebody says, "Are you planning to make another YouTube channel?"
I currently have another YouTube channel, but because of the whole censorship thing, I'm only putting out information that feminism, relationship issues in the United States, the history of genders, and astrology. And that channel is called Amo Apoxia.
Spell it so I can put it on the screen.
That's A N.
A-N?
So that M as in Mandy.
A-M?
Yeah, AMO and then space Apoxia. That's APOKSIA.
Okay, so here it is, you guys. You can pause the video. He has 2.1 subs, 2.1 thousand subs, a little over 2,000 subs, and you can. So you're making videos here on the regular, or just every now and then?
Every now and then.
I see that you made a video on Tory Lanez, and yeah. So this is where you guys can follow RFG right now. This is where he's posting all his videos, and he's also on Instagram at RFG Chosen One. So
Yep. All right.
RFG underscore chosen a number one. Okay, so is there anything else you want to tell the people about? Something that you want the people to know about you, or about your work, or anything in the past that you want to remind people of?
I mean, not really off the top of the head, but I mean, I could say, things to look out for in the future. If you own a cable box, you definitely want to get rid of it. I mean, Netflix and Hulu, I guess, is okay, but you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to fulfill your life purpose. As a life purpose, you just want to ask yourself, what would I be doing with my life if money didn't exist? And whatever that is, whether it takes you a few months or a few years to figure it out, that is what you should be pursuing in life. And that is what you should be acquiring your finances from. You want to do something in life that you like to do, and then, you want to definitely look into purchasing land, converting half of your net worth to gold and silver. All right. And start growing your own food, because if you think 2020 was crazy, 2024 is going to be 2020 on steroids, on big time steroids, man. And a lot of people have been calling me a fear monger for a long time. But like I said, we could deal with a possible economic collapse, EMP strikes, which could black out the energy grids of the states, and another pandemic. I think all of that is coming for 2024. So I just want everybody to be prepared.
Yeah, and just to close it out, because people keep asking me like for you to elaborate on the issues you had with Zach Hubbard, to speak more about it. What was the end result?
There's really, and on my end, there's really no issue. There's really no hard. I have multiple people who can vouch for me on those particular dates. I predicted Super Bowl 50, December 7th of 2015. If you look at Zach's work for Super Bowl 50, multiple videos stating that it could have been the Panthers or the Cardinals in Super Bowl 50. He also
sounds like him. That does sound like him.
he also forth between the Patriots and the Browns that year. I didn't know who he was until like early January, but then he made a video in March 2016, and that's.
Yeah, we keep losing connection. Might be.
But he, the thing with me is, he can say that he's called championships, that many championships, that many championships. I just want to see a video of him sticking to one pick and that pick falling through, and him actually being the first to put the information out. That's really what the people.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell people as well. It's just, it's not impressive to say the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl because I predicted it, but who did you have in the beginning of the season? You have other teams, and then that missed, and then you changed the pick to that, and then eventually you got it right. But
yeah, and it's like so I really don't have any personal thing against him. You know what I'm saying? If he wants to learn how I'm able to decode these particular events, I wouldn't have a problem showing that to him. There's a big issue in the truther community, and we try to look at, or other people look at us as like we're above every. If we really were at a higher status, we would be united with each other the same way the elites are.
That's what I've been trying to preach that for years here. I'm like, if you guys are divided within the truth community, how you expect to bring this cabal down when you can easily see how united they are. These people do not fold. They don't betray each other. They are one. Yeah. They are literally the United States.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this true community is all about ego. Is about, no, I call this. No, I'm better decoder. No, I'm this. No, you're a fraud. No, I'm a fraud. That's not ever gonna do anything for us.
And see, nobody's perfect. Like me myself, I'm not perfect. I've called in between 6 and 7 sporting events that didn't come to fruition, ended up being wrong. And that's one thing about me.
And I appreciate that because at least you're honest about it. I appreciate that. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. I say I appreciate your honesty because a lot of people don't want to sell honesty. They want to sell bullshit just like the mainstream.
Oh yeah. Especially.
What about somebody asking me? What about Mag Bitter Truth? Did you have any issues with him?
So he made a video about me 2019, and this is another person that I never mentioned. I never spoke to, never met, never mentioned their name in any particular video, but
yeah, I actually remember that video. He called you a Masonic agent. That was the first time I heard about you. It was through his video. He was like, this guy, he wears this shirt with the pyramid. He does a 666 fingers. I was like, I don't know if somebody that's giving us the right pick or like somebody who's calling the sports championships correctly. I don't know how can you call somebody like that an agent? Like why would the cabal want that? Why would the cabal want us to be emptying out their casinos?
Thing with Mag is, it's one thing to expose this, expose that, expose this, expose that. This person's fingers is doing this. This person's arms is doing this. This man is a woman. NASA's lying. Look at this agenda. Look at that agenda. Look at that agenda. In my opinion, if you look at it from an alchemical, metaphysical standpoint, Mag Bam is actually giving the elites more power, man, because he's feeding into their negative frequency and he's giving them power. You see what I'm saying? Because he constantly tells people, look at them, look at them, look at them, look at them. What he needs to do is start putting out information to that will free themselves financially, mentally, spiritually, physically.
You hit it on the nose. You're absolutely right about that. You're right. You know what I noticed about these other truth channels is like they're so quick to bash. Like it's like I think the cabal is right about us. Like why is it that we're so quick to bash each other? Like why is that?
I mean, honestly, well, I think it goes back. It may go back to the slavery days, man. It may be like some kind of genetic ancestral piece of memory that we inherit back in the slave days.
Because you see, those two people who I mentioned to you, they've made videos about me, calling me names and calling me all kind of things. Like Mag Bitter Truth. I don't even understand what's the point of his video. He's more like a comedian to me. Like he makes people laugh. He's like a conspiracy comedian.
Same here. He gets on every video and does the same thing.
And then he uses his funny voice. Yeah, the funny voice. And then he goes bam, bam. Like he's really. I think his whole purpose is to mock the truth community. Because if you're really trying to expose something, why are you adding the comedy part to it? It's like you're obviously here to entertain. And he made videos about me saying that I don't know what I'm doing, that I'm not somebody you should trust. And I'm like, what? How can you say that when I'm teaching something that you can?
Well, what Bam has to what he literally owes his subscribers is what the fuck is his agenda and what is his plan? What is his agenda and what is his plan to detach from the nonsense? You know what I'm saying? Like what is, you know, talking about what they're doing. I mean, that people aware of it, but the way it's like power and energy. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, look at it this way. You know what I'm saying? You have a neighborhood that's on fire, that's burning down on fire. Are you just going to look at it and point the finger and say, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then you find out the reason why the house is burned down, right? And so multiple neighborhoods get burned down. And instead of telling the owners of the homes how to free themselves from the houses that are going to burn down,
or how to prevent the burning from happening.
Yeah, yep. You just sit back and say, "Oh my God, look at the houses burning down. Look at them burning down. Look at them burn." That's mag. That's mag. Mm-hmm. You know, he's not telling nobody how to free themselves.
Exactly. That's a great point.
I have a video on my Patreon, my latest one. You know, it's how to permanently free yourself from the U.S. corporate jurisdiction.
Have you written any books?
No, but I am planning to.
Okay. Yeah, and and the thing is, Zach Hubbard has also made videos about me, and I'm somebody that has taken his work and try to take it to the next level the best way possible. And all he's done is, you know, at first he used to take my stuff and then not give me any credit for it, and then eventually when I actually said something about it, then he started bashing me in his videos and telling people how I'm dumb, how I'm slow, how I'm fat, I'm ugly, and stuff like that. I'm like how is that supposed to be? Like how do you consider yourself a leader when the people that you educate, now you consider them rivals and look at them like lesser beings just because you educated them? That doesn't make any sense to me. That's why a lot of people are so, you know, like tempted to not trust this community, is because they see how we get along with each other. They're like, why would I believe what these people are saying when they don't even believe in each other, and they don't even get along? So
Yep. And I think there's a lot of people, you know, who put out videos trying to convince people spiritually awakened that they're enlightened, and they're actually not, you know. And I think Mac Bam is bordering on that particular, because I haven't seen him talk about one solution. He has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos talking about the elites are doing this, the elites are doing that. This person's a tranny, that person's a tranny. This person is an agent, fake. This person's an agent, fake truther, agent, fake truther. You know, the government's doing this to us,
and not providing any plans to free ourselves.
Nope.
And if you notice, these people don't even show their face. We don't even know who they are. Like, has anybody even seen Mag Truth's face? Like, the guy could walk right by me.
He only posted he never posted a video of his face. Only a picture of some kind of Jamaican man with glasses.
Yeah, but we can't trust that. We don't know if that's really him.
Nope.
All right, so this was a good one, man. Hopefully we can have you back on in the future. Looks like people are running out of questions, and
okay.
But definitely this was great. Hopefully people follow you.
Definitely, man.
We'll definitely have you back on in the future when anything else pops up, and then ask you for your thoughts about it. Because I feel like if this community doesn't unite, and we're never gonna get anything accomplished, to be honest.
Oh no!
Despite, I don't really care what like. I hear people talk about cloning and flat Earth and all this other shit that I don't agree with, but it doesn't matter. I feel like we all want the same thing. We all want to get free from the corruption. And if we don't unite, none of this shit is gonna happen. Like Zach Hubbard has said a lot of nasty things about me, and you know what I did when he came down here to New York City on September 11th to pound some pavement. I went down there and I showed him that two people who don't get along could still work together and get the mission accomplished. Yeah. You know, I don't have to like you. You don't have to like me. But if we are supposed to be on the same mission, then we should at least put that to the side and get business handled. And these people are all about money and ego and I'm the best, I'm the smartest, which proves that they're not really here to expose what's going on and to free the people from the matrix.
Yep. It's all being exposed. It's all being exposed. You have a group of so-called spiritual leaders or truthers that present themselves one way, and really they're in a state of fear and a state of subservience, so you could stay reliant only on them for information. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, they never give you information to free yourselves legally, financially, mentally, spiritually.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you, my brother. I'll keep in touch. I'm gonna contact you anytime on Instagram. I see that you're always active on there. And so thanks a lot for this, man. I appreciate you. I know you got things to do. Anything else you want to tell the people before you sign out?
I appreciate it, man. And like I said, I'll definitely be on here time in the future. And if you guys want to see my exclusive videos, that's on Patreon, patreon.com/RFG_Chosen1, the number one. And I also have a podcast coming out, the RFG podcast. You see 10 full episodes. For each episode will be over an hour. Me, Dr. Sebi's grandson, and a guy named PNF, who deals with Moorish science. It's gonna be really dope. Available on Spotify in the next two weeks. So be on the lookout for that.
All right, man. I appreciate you. You have a great rest of your day, man. And thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Man. Thanks for having me on, man. You take it easy. Stay safe.
All right, you too, man. And that was RFG Chosen One. He's been doing this for a long time, you guys. When I first started searching conspiracy videos online, that was one of the first videos. It was actually Mag Truth, RFG, Professor Griff were like the first people that I've ever came across. And then I found Zachary Hubbard. And to be honest, out of all the people that I learned that I was watching back then, the only person that I actually bothered to really focus on was Zachary Hubbard's work, because I think gematria and numerology is the best thing to use to prove what's going on. But these people all have, different point of views. They are all intelligent people. So I don't really criticize anybody. I don't care who's the smartest, who's not. And just to answer somebody in the chat who keeps writing bullshit, looking for the, what is the guy's name? Looking for the truth. I could tell like you're one of Zachary Hubbard's fanboys, right? You wrote that I'm the hater. It's all about money because Zachary is making more money than me on Patreon. That's what I'm saying. You're just an idiot. Zachary Hubbard has always made more money than me on Patreon. Like, when have that has never been even the issue. That has never been the issue because the guy always has made a lot more money than me. I don't care about that, man. I think I spoke about this already. I would fucking delete my shit right now. Tell him if you think I care about money, right? Tell him to delete his Patreon and let's see if he does it. And then I want you to bet with me if I'll delete mine, and I bet you I will. It's not about money, my man. I don't get any money talking about having RFG Chosen One on the show. But what money did I make having this man on? What money do I make? Look at my channel. What money do I make from any of these videos that I put up? If it was about money, I will only make sports videos, right? All of my videos will be about sports if it was about money with me. And I will have this whole entire channel will be called Simple Truth Sports. And I will never cover anything else. I will mind my business about Damar Hamlin. I will mind my business about anything else that goes on in the world, right? The Soldier Slims of the world, the George Floyds, the COVID, all that other stuff that you guys care about, I would never even talk about that on my channel. So how can you say it's all about money? How? If it was about money, I wouldn't be doing this, because I don't get paid for the things that I do, right? Think about all the disgusting things people say about me. I make $1,000 on Patreon. That's $250 a week. I can't do shit with that a month. I live in New York City. My rent is $2,500. I can't do shit with that. You think I'm doing this because of that $1,000 that I make on Patreon? You think I'm talking about Gucci Mane and Kevin Hart because I care about money? How is $1,000 a month motivation? Like, you're a dummy. I can make that on FanDuel. Like, think about it. I put a three-team parlay together on FanDuel, and I'll make way more than $1,000. And then I'll think about it. All this work that I do, all this research, I don't have to do it. All I have to do is take $200, place it on a 2-team parlay, make $1,000, and then that's it. I made my salary that I make on Patreon. I do this because I'm helping people win money in sports betting. That's the only reason. That's the only reason for the Patreon. The only reason I even started a Patreon is because I wanted a studio, and I wanted to get a studio so I could start doing this kind of stuff at a studio. But nobody supported that. Have you ever? I don't even make, like, look at my video. You see these videos right here with the orange thumbnail? I don't even post videos like that anymore promoting my Patreon. Look at this. When was the last time? A month ago. That was the last video that I made promoting my Patreon. A month ago. And you saying that I'm doing this for money? Okay, why did I go to 9/11? For what reason? Why did I meet up with the rest of the community when I know those people? None of those people that was there like me or respect me. I know that. I went there because I said, finally the community is coming together. Let's show the world that we can work together even though we don't like each other. I know Zachary Hubbard don't like me. He never liked me. I know none of them, Angel Baby, and none of them people like me. None of them people respect me. But I still went up there and I showed them that I could work with them. Because if the mission is to really wake people up, I'm always gonna be down for that. How much money did I get paid for by going over there? I didn't get a single dollar. Hey, what money? What money am I making that's motivating me to do this? You think I'm hating on somebody that's always had more money than me? Always. That's like me hating on Bill Gates. How am I gonna hate on Bill Gates? I'm never gonna be Bill Gates. I can't hate on somebody that first of all, I don't even do what he does, right? He makes false promises. That's how he's able to get people to jump on board. I don't do that. Once I said, let's get the studio together, that didn't work. I never mentioned it again because I know I'm like, what's the point? People are not gonna support the studio, so I'm not gonna even never mention it again. Money. There's people that learned about this a year ago that are making way more than me on Patreon. I guarantee you, Mr. Future makes more money than me on Patreon. I guarantee you, because he charges like $50 for his tier. Oh, I'm hating on him too? Shit, like none of those people that I like, besides Hubbard, none of those other people that put up on sports picks, none of them do this work. Those people you can make an argument for are doing it for the money. Okay? When I got in my car, 2020, it was February, right after Super Bowl, whatever Super Bowl that was, Super Bowl 52, Super Bowl 54, I think. Super Bowl 54, I think it was. The Super Bowl right after Kobe's death. I got in my car. I drove for 26 hours by myself to Kansas City to pounce on pavement. You think I did that for money? Oh Lord, money. I'm not like your handler. Your handler does this for money. So Heather Pablo says, Arthur, are there people who have used your picks and won? Well, Eric Catherine is right there. He has been on my page. He was literally the first person to ever sign up for my Patreon. Eric Catherine. He was the first person. He was my first Patreon. And ask him, my Patreon, when he signed up, I was only charging $1 and I wasn't putting out sports picks. You can ask him. Eric Catherine is right there. Eric Catherine, remember the first time you signed up for my Patreon, it was only $1. And the only reason I opened up a Patreon is because I wanted a studio. I said, listen, I'm going to open up a Patreon. I'm only going to charge $1. If you guys want to support it, help me, because I want to open up a studio and do interviews like this. I wish I could have had RFG Chosen One in an actual studio, and me and him could have had a dialogue. That's what I'm saying. Like, or you just, I don't care. Like, my motive is not money. If I put in the work in, what work? I bet you won't call in looking for truth. I bet you won't call in. That's what I'm saying. You just, you gotta stop. You gotta stop doing all of this. You know what I'm saying? Stop. You gotta stop that. You gotta just realize that, the people on this side are doing the right thing. Look what Eric Catherine just wrote. You know what I'm saying? He's been there. He was the first person on there. He was the first person on there. He was there for the 25 win streak. When I went 25 days in a row, hitting nothing but winners, 25 days in a row. And my Patreon has been the same price, $10 a month. Yeah, looking for truth. Do you know who Mark Hamilton is? Mark Hamilton, the man who committed suicide after betting on your man's picks. And ask Zachary Hubbard that he paid for the guy's funeral. He committed suicide because he lost all of his money after betting on Zachary Hubbard's picks. That is a fact. That's why Zachary Hubbard started crying. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I didn't tell him to bet on all his money. Why he did that? He was crying. He felt it like, damn, I'm responsible for this man's death. I don't care. That's what I'm saying. He deserves to make all the money. If he wants to make $1 million, he can make that. I don't care. I've been doing this for 5 years, but I'm gonna keep doing it because the money is not my motivation. This is not my job. This is my responsibility. There's a difference between me and him. This is his job. This is my duty as a human being. All right. So we can end it there, you guys. I'll definitely come back if there's anything else to talk about. Shout out to RFG Chosen One, and Gematria is definitely not about sports at all. The sports does help though to see the real. How do I know? Because he said it on Derek's. Derek actually deleted it, but Derek has a Discord. If you guys didn't know that, he actually made the announcement on Derek's Discord. That's how people found out about it. He said, "Yo, because Mark Hamilton, he used to have his own Discord. I was a member of it, and he said it. He said, I'm not coming back for a while. That's what he said. He didn't say he was gonna kill himself. I didn't think he was gonna do that, but he said, because he used to. I remember exactly like it was yesterday. He used to post Zach's live stream on that Discord for free, and we all used to watch Zach's live streams because he used to post the link on the Discord. And he left a message one day. He said, "I'm not gonna come back for a while." And the next thing you know, Zachary Hubbard made a video of crying, saying that the guy killed himself. I didn't even know. I looked on Discord. I'm like, damn, this guy hasn't signed on in like 4 days. The guy killed himself. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. to Mark Hamilton. Zach should have had some decency and paid for the guy's funeral at least. You know what I'm saying? So again, I don't care about money. There's a bunch of people making more money than me. I think Itachi Decodes, a guy who does cocaine for a living, he makes more money than me on Patreon. I don't care. Is he smarter than me? Is he more important to this community than me? No. Is he willing to do the things that I'm willing to do? No. Has he done the things that I've done? No. Does he know how to put a presentation together? No. Has he solved any riddles? Has he saved anybody from getting the vaccine? What has Itachi Decodes done in this community besides run his mouth and call people trolls? He has done nothing. I bet you go on his Patreon, I bet you he makes more money than me. Has he put in the work that I put in? So it's not about money. So Dave, Dave. I think Dave was on that Discord. You remember Mark Hamilton had his own Discord, remember? I remember. Well, I'll tell you this much, right? And I'm saying this right now, and people can record this. If any of my Patreons, right? If any of my Patreons ever decides to hurt themselves, and God forbid, they kill themselves because of something that I caused, I'm gonna do everything for that person's family, and everything in my power, because I'm not a rich guy, but if I'm able to give the person's families anything, and whatever money I have, I'll give it to that person's family. I'll take full responsibility for that person. All right. So if anybody in my community does something to harm themselves, and it was caused because of me, I'm gonna take full responsibility for it. What am I hating on? Looking for truth. What am I hating on? I do hate a lot of things. I hate dishonesty. I hate greedy motherfuckers. I hate liars. And I hate people who have evil hearts. That's what I hate. And I hate people who do drugs. You guys want to know something about Itachi Decodes? I said I wasn't going to talk about this no more, but Itachi Decodes, he comes from a very wealthy family. I actually did some research on his family, and I'm gonna actually message his mother. Let me see if I can look up his mother. I want to have I'm gonna text his mother, and I'm gonna let her know what's going on with her son. This is actually Itachi's mother right here, and I'm gonna message his mother later on today, and I want to let her know what her son is doing on the internet, because I think she has no idea. So this lovely lady right here, let me see if I can pull up a nice picture of her. So this lovely lady right here, she graduated from Harvard University. She's a very successful woman, and she is the mother of this guy right here. His name is Richie Freckleton, also known as Itachi Decodes, and this is his sister. You can tell this is Itachi because of the skin disease that he has on his face. But I want to let this woman know that this man right here is telling people that they should shoot themselves in the head if they can't learn gematria or whatever. And he's also made threats to me, saying that because I don't know what he said, but he said that somebody should shoot me in the head as well. And he's also done a lot of cocaine on the internet. So, a woman like this, let me tell you a little bit of backstory about his mother. So his mother is an immigrant from Jamaica, and she came here. She was very poor. She has, I think, 11 siblings, and she comes from a poor background, but I think she went to school, graduated, and became a professional. And Itachi is living through her legacy, because she did what every mother's supposed to do. She made sure that her children are good. But this is what I've noticed about America. Like when you come from, like, you see that there's a difference between me and somebody like Itachi, because I come from a poor family. Like my mother was broke, my father was broke, so I think that's what made me the man that I am. You know, it made me responsible. It made me want to go get it on my own. It made me a decent person. You know, if I see a homeless guy on the street, I help him because I know what it feels like to be fucked up. But this piece of shit, he doesn't know what it feels to be fucked up because his mother gave him everything, right? That's why when he walks by a homeless person, he'll tell him like, "Oh, let me see if you have any talent. Let me see if you jump up and down. Oh, do you know what masonry equals? It equals 33. Oh, you're not interested in that? Well, fuck you. I'm not giving you $1. You see, that's a person that doesn't know what the struggle feels like, right? And most of these kids who come from wealthy families, they end up doing heavy drugs like that because they don't have any morals. They don't know what's going on. You see, his mother represents the complete opposite. She's a person who struggled, and she went and got it on her own. And then unfortunately, she produced a child like him who doesn't know what the struggle feels like. That's why he spends his time on the internet just talking bullshit, talking about, people should kill themselves and making threats, knowing this guy is harmless. I mean, look at him. You think this guy can harm anybody? This guy is harmless. And I'm gonna have a conversation with her. I'm gonna text her on Instagram, on Facebook, and let her know that her son has this coke problem and is threatening people on the internet. And I'm not the only one. He's also said that he wishes he can kill Kathy. I'm like, man, only if what is her name? I'm gonna look up your mom's profile right now. Miss Annie Lazarus. I doubt Miss Lanny Lazarus raised a child. I don't think she has any idea that she's raised a child who has been threatening people online and doing coke. She has no idea. She has no idea. But I'm going to have a conversation with her. I'm going to let her know I have all the audio as proof. And hopefully she could do something about it. Because you can't be threatening people, saying that these persons should get shot in the head. I mean, you could go to jail for that. I mean, I have the audio. I can, if I wanted to, because I know your mom has money. This is what I'm saying about, you see, looking for truth. This is why you don't say things that are factual. If I was in this for the money, with all the things that Zach has said about me, he's accusing me of being a cab driver stiffer. Like, don't you know that that's defamation of character? I can sue Zachary Hubbard if I wanted to. I have the proof to sue him legally. He can't be saying those things. None of those things are true. And he doesn't have any proof that I've ever stiffed anybody. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's making videos telling people that I've stiffed cab drivers. You see, I could take that and sue him, and all that money that he makes, he's gonna have to pay me. But I'm not interested in his money, my man. Same thing with Itachi, with all these threats that he's making online. He could get sued for that. He could go to jail for that. I mean, that's evidence. I can say, well, I fear for my life. This guy right here with the polo shirt, he said that he's going to shoot me in the head, or he's going to get somebody to shoot me in the head. And then his mother has to pay me in damages. You see, I'm not in it for the money at all. All right? You guys are so fools. But yeah, I'm going to have a conversation with Annie Lazarus. I'm going to show her all the video evidence. So hopefully this can stop. And I don't care about him threatening me. I just don't want you to threaten Kathy anymore. Kathy has been in this community for a long time. She's a sweet lady. And you're just a cokehead troublemaker. And this has to stop. So Annie Lazarus, I'm going to reach out to you. And hopefully you can do something about it. Because you are definitely the complete opposite. And I could tell that you tried your best to raise 2 children in America, but unfortunately, you can't hit a home run every time. Clearly. Sometimes you're going to strike out. All right? So I'll end it there. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And, yeah, Kathy is, she goes by Gematria with the 2 8s. Okay, so looking for the truth says there's a newspaper article written about you stiffing the cabbie. Okay, that doesn't mean that's true. I have I have court reports. I have a police report that says otherwise. So you want me to sue Zachary Hubbard for accusing me? Like, do you guys really want me to do that? Okay, if I get five yeses, I'm gonna press charges on Zachary Hubbard, and let's see who wins. Let's see if his proof is gonna stand in court. That Post article. Let's see if that Post article is proof in court that I actually stiffed a cab driver. Meanwhile, I was found not guilty. All right, the police report says the complete opposite from what the Post said. You know, he's confirming what he's reading on that article, right? So if I get 5 yeses, I'm gonna press charges. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3. I got 3 so far. Only 3 people. Okay, 4, 5. Okay. I'm gonna talk to a lawyer, and let's see what happens. All right. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I really stiffed anybody. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. And Zachary Hubbard, if you're watching this, just know that this lawsuit was caused by the YouTube channel Looking for the Truth. He's the one that made me want to sue you, because I didn't want to sue you. But you can't go on the internet saying that I'm a thief, a con man, if you don't have any evidence. I mean, we have evidence that you're a con man. You've made promises and you haven't kept them. Do you have any evidence that I stiffed anybody? Do you have a police report? Do you have court documents? You have an article from the Post. First of all, let me tell you something. If you guys, obviously you guys don't live in the Bronx, but the article said that I took a yellow cab from the Bronx to New York. Yellow cabs. If you guys didn't know this, yellow cabs, they don't operate out of the Bronx. You see? Everything about that article is a lie. Let me see. Why doesn't yellow cabbies work in the Bronx? Look what it says right here. This is the Bronx Journal. Okay, you see what it says here? Look. I actually know this kid. That's funny. Why do you think yellow cab drivers are afraid to come to the Bronx? Yellow cabs, you will never be able to catch a yellow cab in the Bronx because they don't operate out of the Bronx. They only operate out of Manhattan. You can't catch a cab in the Bronx. So if you read the article, it said that I took a cab from the Bronx to the LaGuardia Airport, and they said I took a yellow cab, which is false because yellow cabs don't work out of the Bronx. It says here that they don't want to get taxed. They want to save money. If they are trying to make money, they don't want to waste it at the same time. If they trying to come to the Bronx, they might get less money in their pockets. Yeah, Marlon, I went to school with this kid. Yeah, that's true. You will never see a yellow cab in the Bronx. Never. Ever, ever, ever. All right. So I'm going to talk to a lawyer, and we're going to put an end to all the slander. Enjoy your Wednesday and take care. Snitching, never snitching, because I'm not putting people in jail. All right. Snitching is when you're a criminal and you have a co-defendant, and you get caught, he doesn't, and then you testify and get him caught. That's what a snitch is. All right? Take care.